The reality is that in absolute numbers, the BJP is the only party which is still over the 30% vote share across the country, just over 36%. The Congress, on the other hand, has just managed to cross the 20% vote share mark. So there is still a huge gap of 16%. Why is it then that when you go to the Congress headquarters and when you look at these kind of pictures of Priyanka Gandhi beaming away, clapping away, it's almost as if the Congress party itself, with a vote share of just over 20%, has actually crossed the 30% vote share mark. The story lies just there. Why does the Congress believe that this is its revival? The conventional political psephologists or analysts will tell you that where every political event has a certain political context to it. Yes, it's true that the Congress had to face the wrath of the agencies, its bank accounts had been frozen, and it was almost as if that this was now becoming a fight to the finish. In terms of seat share, the entire India alliance is still behind the number of seats which have been achieved by the Bharatiya Janata Party. How is this then a revival? Let's look at the key state of Uttar Pradesh, for instance, where the BJP has got 33 Lok Sabha seats. The Samajwadi Party, which is in alliance with the Congress Party, has got 37 seats, whereas the Congress has got just 6. Now, mind you folks, we're trying to understand whether the Congress on its own has managed to find its feet in the critical state of Hindi heartland. In the year 2009, when UPA 2 was formed, one of the principal reasons was that the Congress had got 21 Lok Sabha seats. In 2024, when we're looking at a potential revival of the Congress party, the Congress has got just 6. In terms of absolute vote share, the BJP, in the biggest political state of India, is still above 40%, whereas the Congress is still below 10%. Can this really be looked at as a revival? It is also true that Mayawati's core Jata vote, or even the non-Jata vote, in big parts has shifted to the India Alliance, in parts of the Samajwadi Party, in parts of the Congress Party. But in certain areas, it has also stayed with the Bharatiya Janata Party. Should we say that the collapse of Mayawati, the biggest beneficiary through that event, is actually the Indian National Congress? In the neighboring state of Bihar, look at the Congress's tally there. On its own, the Congress gets 3 Lok Sabha seats, whereas the BJP gets 12. The BJP is in alliance with the Janata Dal United. The JDU gets 12. The BJP's vote share still is far ahead of the Congress party, almost double. Can this really be looked at as a revival of the Congress party? The reason why we're looking at these specific terms, these specific vote shares, these specific seat shares, is because when you really go deep, then you realize that it's not as if the BJP's base vote has suddenly shifted away. It's not as if that this was an election where one could say that there is an entire wave against Narendra Modi, nor was this a wave in favor of the Congress party or in favor of the Indian alliance. But yes, one thing certainly stands. The Congress, by maybe going in for the right alliances, by going in for the right caste arithmetic, has managed to create a scenario where it's got some breathing space for itself. Let's give you some specific micro examples in certain states. In the state of Uttar Pradesh, if it was the Congress party which was giving cover fire to the Samajwadi Party, the Bahujan Samaj Party was clearly firing away for the BJP. In fact, there is a total of 16 seats where the victory margin for the Bharatiya Janata Party is less than the number of votes which were polled by the Bahujan Samaj Party. So just imagine what would have happened if the BSP was not in a so-called strategic alliance with the BJP. Then, Tanuj Punia, his victory over BJP's Rajrani Rawat by over 2 lakh votes in Barabanki is a hugely significant phenomenon. According to Mr. Punia, who has been an MP from this very area earlier, this is a classic seat, a classic sign of a revival of the Congress party. But is it? Let's move to another state. In the state of Rajasthan, what was the story there? In Rajasthan, the Congress won 2 Lok Sabha seats, and both these seats were reserved seats. These were in Bharatpur. Congress's Sanjana Jatav defeated the BJP's Ram Sarup Kohli by well over 50,000 votes. In 2019, Ranjita Kohli of the BJP had won this seat with 7,01,292 votes polled. That was a total of 61.62% vote share. In the 2014 election, Bahadur Singh Kohli of the BJP had won by polling almost 60% votes in his favor. The other constituency of Karoli Dholpur, Congress's Bhajanlal Jattar won this seat, defeating the BJP's Indu Devi by 98,945 votes. Here, 10% more voters voted for the Congress party than the BJP. Manoj Rajoria of the BJP had won the seat both in 2019 and 14, while Khiladilal Berwa of the Congress had won this in 2009. In 2019, the BJP's vote share was 52.69%, almost 10% higher than the Congress's Sanjay Kumar. In 2014, the same candidate had got 47.57% of the votes. That's about 3% more votes than his nearest rival, who was Congress's Lakhi Ram at that time. Now let's get back to that basic question that we had raised. Is this really a sign of a Congress revival? In terms of seats, sure, but in terms of votes, hardly. From 44 seats to 99 seats, you could certainly argue that this is a sign of revival. BJP's seats have come down from 303 to 240. Almost all of these 63 seats which have been lost by the BJP have come from Maharashtra, where it has lost 23, and UP, where it has lost 30. But with the help of 25 opposition parties combined together, the Congress managed to increase its vote share by 1.55%. That's a total of 19.67% to 21.22%. And it has managed to cut the BJP's vote share by, that's from a high of 37.7% to 36.58%. In Kerala, while the BJP won one Lok Sabha seat and partially increased its vote share from 13% in 2019 to around 17% this time, there is no visible jump in Kerala in the Congress's vote share. In Karnataka, the Congress's vote share jumped by 14% since 2019. And this in Telangana are exceptions. The BRS's vote share in the state of Telangana, which moved to the Congress, which got 10% more votes than it did 5 years back. In neighboring Andhra Pradesh as well, the YSRCP vote has fallen from 50% to 40%, and yet this has not benefited the Congress party. In Tamil Nadu, the vote share figures have been more or less static for the Congress. So, you can't really say that this was an election where there was a wave or an anti-wave against either of the two parties. Perhaps no wave, but certainly a big breather for the Congress party.